This is KTUL TV, Tulsa's Channel 8. You're watching Good Morning Oklahoma First News.
And Good Morning Oklahoma, I'm Keith Taylor.
I'm Erin Christie. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
As you step outside, boy, it's cold and it is blustery out there. Temperatures this morning in the upper 30s, but wind chills have dropped off in the middle to upper 20s across parts of the metro. We're going to talk about a cooler forecast for you coming up here in about 5 minutes.
Traffic over most of the city is quiet this morning. However, Birmingham Place, we have that blocked area at Newton Street, plus a mile and a half up the road. There's another blocked area. These are police incidents. But if you could avoid that area, the rest of your travel should be good. Another update coming at 8 minutes.
New this morning, a man fights for his life after being shot in the head Tuesday night.
Yeah, right now there's 2 people in custody, and Channel 8's Yadami Farina is live on the scene of a standoff from earlier this morning, and she has the very latest. Yadami?
It was here on East Woodward Street where the suspect barricaded himself inside his house, and TPD officers spent 4 hours trying to convince him to surrender. Now, the house is the one over there. The porch light is now off, but we're zooming in so you can see where the suspect, officers say the suspect lives there, and that's where he was hiding out. The SWAT team did come out, and they spent 4 hours out here trying to convince him to come out. We know that the family members were talking to him over the phone in hopes he would finally surrender, and he did. Now, we know that the suspect is a 27-year-old man, and he is the suspected shooter from last night's shooting. The other person in custody is his younger brother. Now, we're told that last night a shooting happened on Birmingham Place. A man was backing out of his house when someone shot him in the head once with a shotgun. That person then fled the scene, and then officers say they found out the suspect lived in this house because of witnesses. Witnesses gave officers the suspect's name, and then they tracked him down and located him over here. Now, we're told that the shooting is likely a result of erratic driving. Officers tell us that the suspect was driving in that neighborhood near Birmingham Place when someone told him to slow down, and now they think that this could be a result of that because he got upset that someone told him to slow down. Now, the reason his younger brother is in custody is because apparently the younger brother was with the suspect, his brother, during this time, this altercation with someone in the neighborhood. Now, we are working with detectives to see what else we can figure out, and we will have an update for you in just 30 minutes. Live in North Tulsa, Yadami Farina, Tulsa's Channel 8.
All right, thank you, Yadami. Updating you now, the latest information and stories that we've been following. This morning, Oklahoma Highway Patrol says a silver alert subject is dead, unfortunately. 75-year-old Eldon Blackwell reported missing in Pryor. We reported that Monday here on GMO. His body found in a vehicle in a creek just south of there yesterday. Investigators say Blackwell was on a number of medications, sometimes caused him to have episodes of dementia. Well, changes coming to the Muskogee County Jail after a couple of inmates broke out over the weekend. Raymond Noriega caught soon after he escaped Sunday night. The other, Paul Newberry, on the run for more than a day before he was finally caught out of state. Investigators say the accused killer stole an 18-wheeler from a hotel in Muskogee on Monday, but there was a GPS device inside the truck that led authorities to Newberry. He was arrested without incident just outside of Austin, Texas on Tuesday. Muskogee County Sheriff Charles Pearson says a detention officer failed to make a proper cell check, which helped lead to Newberry's escape. He says new improvements include 2-person cell checks and more surveillance cameras.
City leaders are getting a look at a gymnastics school for the first time since a tornado destroyed their building earlier this year. The nonprofit organization in Sand Springs called Aim High teaches gymnastics to children from North Tulsa. Several city councilors toured the new facility Tuesday night and helped present medals to gymnasts during their awards ceremony.
And this is such a great opportunity for a lot of children to be able to have a structured environment and have fun and learn and grow as young folk. I think this is great.
And you can find out more information about Aim High on their website. A new twist this morning in the development of a park. Yeah, right now there are some new questions about how much that land is worth. Opponents to the development say the $1.4 million price tag is much too low. The land has got a higher value according to the assessor's office. But the city says they had an appraisal done that it came back with the current value that they're now proposing.
$1.4 million is just a ridiculously, and one real estate professional told me, an absurdly low sales price for this tract of land.
The city of Tulsa is getting a reputation out in the retail community that it's a place that's not really open for business.
Of course, we're talking about Helmrich Park at 71st and Riverside. You see the volleyball nets that are up there 24/7. The city council has asked the city attorney to meet with them on Thursday to discuss the park deal.
Hard to believe these days we still are able to hang out at the park nicely.
You're talking about yesterday, kids on the trampoline, 67 beautiful degrees outside.
Can't
awesome.
believe it, but things are changing a little bit today, Clint.
Yeah, not quite as warm today. If you're going to be out on the trampoline later on today, have the heavy jacket as temperatures are only going to be about 50 this afternoon. It's a chilly, blustery start again. Temperatures this morning across the metro in the middle 30s. Elsewhere, 33 Bartlesville, McAllister, 39, 36 this morning in Tahlequah. What you're really going to notice this morning is the gusty winds. They're out of the west and northwest as we had a cool front move in late last night, and that ushered in certainly a colder air mass. Wind chills this morning, 28 in town, 28 Bartlesville. 25 this morning in Bartlesville as we get you out the door this morning. Bundle up, heading throughout the afternoon. A lot of sunshine, upper 40s at lunchtime. Should see temperatures this afternoon pretty close to 50. Now coming up about 6:18, we're going to talk about the forecast heading into the weekend as those 60s may be returning. But
well, you talk about this warmer weather. Yesterday morning, I'm riding out of here, and folks come by me in motorcycles, and that's odd for this time of year. We take a live look at what's happening at the Sheridan Curve on the BA, and right now things look very, very good. But again, with these warmer temperatures, you might want to watch out for motorcycles. Not usually in December, but Aaron, this year, well, things are different.
That is for certain. Well, still to come, a movie preview of J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter spinoff.
Yeah, plus the first reviews of the new Star Wars film are in. We'll tell you what Hollywood is saying about the action-packed movie.
And check out a cool prank ripped straight from the Star Wars screenplay, how one guy's bringing Hollywood movie magic to everyday people.
Thanks for watching Good Morning Oklahoma at 9 minutes after 6. We take a look around the city. Right now, things are good. There's this situation happening at Birmingham Place and Newton Street. That's a police incident. But the rest of the city right now looks good. We'll get you another update in about 8 minutes, Aaron.
All right, topping entertainment news this morning, the self-proclaimed king of all media will sit on his throne a little bit longer. Howard Stern signed on for 5 more years at Sirius. Negotiations were down to the wire, but they reached a deal anyway. Terms of contract have not been disclosed.
Yesterday, a wizard entered New York with a case.
The first trailer for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them features everything that we've come to expect from J.K. Rowling's wizarding world. Full of suspense, spells, strange creatures. We also got a glimpse of one of the things that fans have never seen before. That's American Wizards. The Harry Potter spinoff will hit theaters in November. Well, the first reviews are in for Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Yes, and the stars have nothing but love for Star Wars. Celebs who attended this week's world premiere not afraid to let their inner geeks shine. Joseph Gordon-Levitt and The Office's Rainn Wilson both dressing the part. Wilson went on to tweet the movie was epic, awesome, and perfect. Comedians like Patton Oswalt and Modern Family's Eric Stonestreet echoed the praise. Turning now to this morning's trending topics, Bud Ford is over here with more Star Wars fever.
It was good to see Lando Calrissian in there. Man, I tell you what, oh, Billy D looking good. Internet suffering from a serious case of the Star Wars fever in honor of the new movie. Obviously, a popular magician has been performing Jedi tricks and pranks.
I'm a professional magician in training. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And it's gone. Put that
back. Something in that don't look legal. Video begins with a magician performing a very weak disappearing trick, which, like I said, not necessarily legal. That's just shoplifting where I come from. As he runs away, he suddenly disappears, leaving his Jedi robe behind. Seriously. Man, that's impressive right there.
That is impressive.
And a look at this morning's Facebook question of the day, available for you on our Facebook page. The average parent spends 19.3 minutes every day trying to get their kids to do this. Is it eat their vegetables, go to bed, put their toys away, or do their homework? I have no children. I'll defer to you two.
I'm saying go to bed. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that book, Go the expletive to sleep. I mean, it's a problem every night.
I'm going to say put their toys away just because I think it could be any of those, but it's always something that's a little bit off the wall, so I'm thinking it's put the toys away.
All right.
We'll get you an answer about a half hour.
All right, sounds good.
Henrietta schools have unveiled a new severe weather plan to keep their students safe.
Plus, Oklahoma's overdose epidemic, how it's catching the attention of the president and what he's doing to help.
And the deadline to sign up for insurance through the Federal Exchange has passed. We'll tell you what that means for Tulsans who are still waiting to log on as the site crashes again. It's 6:13 and currently 37 degrees. All right, day 3 of our look at some of the incredible students at Cleveland High School, this week's Cool School. And this morning, thanks to Turner Roofing, we are meeting senior Austin Fuss. Austin is a member of the school's leadership class. No surprise, a member of the National Honor Society, very involved in FFA. In fact, she's the chapter president. At the Tulsa State Fair recently, she showed a championship steer, and the livestock judging team this last year won and advanced to nationals. At nationals, Austin was 10th in the country. She helped explain the process of livestock judging.
There's certain things to look for, and it's kind of tricky because your opinion has to match the official committee's opinion, and you try to have as many points as possible, and the one with the most points wins. So it's kind of a mind game in a way, and you look for the best in the livestock and rank them based on that.
Austin will be attending Connor State College in Warner and says she wants to double major in animal science and ag communications. All right, Henrietta Public Schools, they're spending voter-approved funds to keep students safe from severe weather.
Yeah, Henrietta, about 50 miles south of Tulsa. Some construction is already underway on the project. 2 new science and tech buildings, which will double as storm shelters for students in case of a tornado. The principal of the elementary school there says the goal is to make sure the community knows they're looking out for the children.
We walk in the morning, we know our job is to keep them safe. That's our first priority. We also know that we have to educate our students, but our first priority is keeping them safe. You know, the parents send them to school safe, we want to return them home safe.
District leaders say the new buildings are a gift from voters who approved the money. They say they will keep all 1,300 students on campus safe from weather.
And we're taking a look at what's happening. A live traffic report this morning. That moment when you're on the BA and you get passed by an officer of the law, then another vehicle comes up and he has to make some decisions about whether he's going to pass the officer. Whew, those are chilling times. Right now we're rolling along at posted speeds. Things are good. Another update in about 8 minutes. What's it looking like with weather, Clint?
All right, a cold start for us this morning as temperatures across the metro in the middle 30s. 33 up in Bartlesville, 40 currently down in Stigler, 39 in McAllister. Gusty west winds are giving us wind chills this morning, middle to upper 20s. We had a cold front move through late last night, so that's ushered in that cooler air mass as we get you out the door. Bundle up this morning through lunchtime, temperatures upper 40s. No 60s today like yesterday. Highs only near 50, which is our average high for today. Here's a look at the forecast for tonight. Sky will be mostly clear. Temperatures will be a lot colder tomorrow morning. Some patchy frost, middle to upper 20s. A weak system pushes in tomorrow afternoon. Some mid to high level clouds, mid to upper 40s. And then as we head into tomorrow night and head into early Friday, a weak system may bring parts of the area a few flakes of snow, mainly up towards Miami, maybe around Grand Lake. That's throughout the overnight hours tomorrow. Not really worried about anything. And then Friday we'll see more sunshine. Big warm up for the weekend. Saturday upper 50s, lower 60s for Sunday. And then a slight chance for a shower late Sunday night and early Monday. And then mild conditions next week as we get closer to Christmas with temperatures into the 60s. More of Good Morning Oklahoma on the way. Stay with us.
This is KTUL TV, Tulsa's Channel 8. You're watching Good Morning Oklahoma First News.
Good morning, Oklahoma. I'm Erin Christie.
I'm Keith Taylor. It's Tuesday morning. Here's what you need to know as you head out the door.
It's actually Wednesday morning, Keith. That's okay. Temperatures this morning in the 30s for us, so it's going to kind of knock you out this morning. Look at the wind chills with the gusty winds in the upper 20s to lower 30s. We'll look at your Wednesday afternoon forecast coming up here in a few minutes.
Taking a look around the city right now. Things are good if you're on 169, 244, 44, or the BA. We'll get you another update here in about 8 minutes.
All right, new this morning, 2 people are in custody after a 2-hour standoff with police in North Tulsa.
Yeah, Channel 8's Yadami Farina is joining us now live with details on what's happened out there. Yadami?
The two men in custody are brothers, and one of them is the suspected shooter or trigger man in last night's shooting. That's according to Tulsa police. Now, police tell me after the shooting happened, the 27-year-old suspect barricaded himself inside this house you see over here on East Woodrow Place. Now, officers spent 4 hours trying to convince the 27-year-old to surrender. He finally walked out peacefully around 5 this morning. TPD says they learned of the suspect's whereabouts thanks to witnesses who were at the scene of the shooting. That's video you're looking at right now. According to TPD, a man in his 40s was backing up out of a driveway on Birmingham Place when someone shot him in the head with a shotgun. EMSA rushed him to a hospital in critical condition, and officers tell us he likely won't survive his injuries. Now, Sergeant Dave Walker with the Homicide Division says the shooting is likely a result of an altercation that happened yesterday before the shooting.
I can tell from what I've heard, and I haven't talked to the witnesses yet, it was something to do with erratic driving on the street. So something as silly as that.
The reason the suspect's younger brother is in custody is because police say he was with the suspect at the time of that altercation that happened just before the shooting. Now, we are told, and TPD says, that they likely will arrest the 27-year-old suspect on a complaint of murder. Live in North Tulsa, Yaremi Farinas, Tulsa's Channel 8.
All right, thank you, Yaremi. All right, covering the race for the White House this morning, another debate between the Republican candidates for presidents now in the books. It was their first primetime matchup since the terror attacks in Paris and California. Aaron, counterterrorism strategy was certainly the theme last night.
Yes, it was. It started with a moment of silence for the victims of the shooting in San Bernardino, but the 9 Republicans soon then started laying out their plans on protecting the country from terrorists. Senator Ted Cruz criticized the Department of Homeland Security for not monitoring the Facebook posts of one of the suspects in San Bernardino. He said the Obama administration's political correctness enables killers. Carlia Fiorina said Obama is to blame for the rise of ISIS and that Democratic presidential hopeful Hillary Clinton wouldn't be any better.
Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama are responsible for the growth of ISIS because they precipitously withdrew from Iraq in 2011 against the advice of every single general and for political expediency. It's not these people up here. It's Hillary Clinton.
All right, so Aaron, American troops, they left Iraq in 2011. ISIS on the move by 2014. Now, the timeline of that troop withdrawal was actually much earlier.
Yeah, Keith, the soldiers were stationed there under status of forces agreements between the United States and Iraqi governments. President George W. Bush had signed an agreement back in 2008 setting a few deadlines: withdrawal of combat troops from major cities by the summer of 2009 and withdrawal from the country altogether by the end of 2011. And by then, President Obama was in office. But on Tuesday night, Foreign Policy and National Security also had the GOP candidates attacking each other. Donald Trump defending his proposal to ban Muslims from entering the United States, others in the meantime calling him unrealistic.
We're not talking about religion. We're talking about security. Our country is out of control.
If we're going to ban all Muslims, how are we going to get them to be part of a coalition to destroy ISIS?
There's Jeb Bush. He also said Trump would bring chaos if elected president. Also Tuesday night, Trump reiterated his commitment to the GOP, and Republican National Committee chair dismissed any notion of an independent candidacy.
The next president's either going to be a Republican or a Democrat, and that's it. And every one of these people know it. And if they want to be our spokesman, if they want to participate in the Republican process, then they have to be aligned with the Republican Party. Otherwise, they will not be the spokesman or the nominee of our party, period.
And overall, the chair says he thinks the CNN moderators did a pretty good job last night and that it was a good showcase of all the candidates. The next Republican debate is scheduled for January 14th. Keith?
All right, thank you, Aaron. Developing in national news this morning, officials say 2 people are dead following a medical helicopter crash in Arizona. A 3rd passenger safe. No other details available on that condition right now. An FAA spokesman says the chopper went down under unknown circumstances, and officials described the crash site as a very rugged terrain. There were no patients on board. All right, turning now in the latest violent threats against the nation's largest school systems. This morning, L.A. schools will reopen as normal. Right now, we know both L.A. and New York public school districts received similar violent threats. New York officials dismissed the threat as a hoax. The L.A. police chief says they take threats seriously, especially since the San Bernardino attacks.
I think that anything can be viewed through the mirror into the past, but recognize that when decisions were made, the information that we have now was not available.
Authorities don't know who made the threat, but the FBI determined it was not credible.
Now, your forecast in the Oklahoma Ford Storm Center.
Well, your coat, gloves, and stocking cap are going to be needed as you head out the door this morning. It's a blustery cold start. Temperatures across the metro this morning in the middle 30s, lower 30s. Bartlesville, 33. Coffeyville, 34. Tahlequah, 39 this morning in McAllister. Winds this morning still breezy out of the west and northwest, about 5 to 15. There's a look at the latest wind chills for you. 26 in Pryor, 25 in Bartlesville. Feels like 28 in Tulsa. So a chilly start. We will see plenty of sunshine. Now, today is not going to be as warm as yesterday. Lunchtime temperatures in the upper 40s. Winds should gradually die down later on this afternoon. Temperatures this afternoon only close to 50, which is pretty much our average high this time of year. Coming up about 12 minutes or so, we're going to talk about the forecast for the weekend. Right now, looking nice and balmy for us. But
posted speeds looking good right now. 169. We are rolling right along. 65. Things are good. On the opposite side, we start to see traffic volume starting to build. Things, though, no accidents. Nothing to slow you down. Another update in about 8 minutes, Aaron.
And still to come, top security experts say Iran has weapons that violate UN sanctions. More on their report just released.
And later, the feds may be raising interest rates. Find out how high those rates could go. That's coming up. It's 6:37, 36 degrees, and it's Wednesday.
Happening now in international headlines, the United States and Russia moving closer to putting aside years of disagreement over how to end Syria's civil war. In a major shift in foreign policy, Secretary of State John Kerry, meeting in Russia, announced that the Obama administration is no longer seeking a regime change in Syria. Kerry says the goal is to focus on peace negotiations, but reiterated that Syria's current leader, Bashar al-Assad, won't be able to steer the country out of turmoil. Al-Assad is accused of chemical weapons attacks on his own people, as well as other massive human rights violations.
Security experts have issued a report saying that Iran's firing of a ballistic missile violated UN sanctions. The U.S., France, Britain, Germany have asked the Security Council to investigate the missile launch back in October. According to the AP, the investigation concluded the launch did in fact use banned missile technology. The report found the missile had a range of at least 620 miles and an explosive charge of at least 2,200 pounds. All right, still to come, we'll tell you how the Thunder players are making the holidays very special for some Oklahoma kids.
Plus, Walmart customers get a major shock at the layaway counter. Hear about their secret Santa surprise.
And a chill in the air for us this morning. Temperatures across the metro in the 30s, but wind chills in the 20s. We'll let you know how long this cold weather is going to last coming up in about 5 minutes.
And at 6:45, we get a quick look at what's going on. I-44 westbound right now. Traffic volume starting to build. No accidents to slow you down as you get rolling this morning. Keith?
Thank you, sir. Hey, covering the community, Thunder players scoring some major cool points with kids. The NBA team plays with a lot of heart on the court. They do off the court. They've also got a lot of love for their community. Earlier this week, buying Christmas toys for children in the Oklahoma City area.
Have fun, man. Just going to, get some stuff that he wanted, some video games and the bike, and it was just fun to see him smile, see his grandparents smile. So it's amazing that we impact lives that way.
To be able to do something like this would be a blessing, man. Now to be in the position I am, I think it's my job is to bless other people.
Well, 'tis the season to give, and one person is giving in Ohio in a big way. A secret Santa walked into 2 Walmart stores and paid off close to $107,000 in layaway products. And he only asked for one favor in exchange, a promise to keep his identity a secret.
Oh, wow. The same person? Wow, somebody got some money.
I wish they would have paid mine. And yours, and yours.
I just cried. It's amazing that someone would have this much compassion during the Christmas season to be able to help us.
All in all, the Layaway Angel covered Christmas gifts for more than 200 people in Ohio. Items ranged from a pair of socks to a 70-inch television and, of course, lots of toys.
College basketball is underway. You see a lot of big games, and when you got those big games, you got big shots. And the benches, man, sometimes they go crazy on those things.
I'll tell you what, this year we have a college basketball team at Monmouth College that is not being known for their shots. They're trying to dance their way to the Sweet 16. Literally, take a look at this. The Monmouth Hawks are becoming a viral sensation. Again, not for the shots, but for what the bench is doing. Here comes the shot. He drains it. Now watch this. That's the Angry Bird. Coming up a little later, you get the Katniss Everdeen. You get the OMG. Watch that. Oh, yeah. Got to give him life. Got to get him back to life here. A little CPR.
Yeah, do something to entertain yourself on the bench, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's true.
That's
right.
right.
Look at that. That is so funny.
Go check them out on Twitter, too. They have the Monmouth bench. If you look at that, you'll see all kind of craziness there.
But you know, that's the way college sports should be, man.
It's
there's
a lot
the Katniss Everdeen you were talking about.
You got to love the Katniss Everdeen. I'm telling you.
That's what it should be. That's awesome.
Check that out. That cool. They have a cool Twitter page, too, like I said. Our Facebook question of the day, we wanted to know the average parent spends 19.3 minutes every day trying to get their kids to do this. Is it eat the veggies, go to bed, put their toys away, or do their homework? We said...
Oh, it's got to be go to bed.
I thought it was going to be put the toys away.
Yeah, go to bed. I think, and that's...
Are you telling
me?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you want to go to bed?
No, you cannot have a drink.
Especially after I thought it was Tuesday.
You figure out which day it is?
I guess the answer is go to bed, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Got that, nailed it. All right.
Got one right this week. Yeah. Very good. All right.
At least it's dark outside when it's time to go to bed these days.
Yeah, I know. Especially when we go to bed like at, 7:30 every day. Go to bed before our kids. Let's take a look outside this morning as we check out our view of South Tulsa. Clear conditions. It is a chilly start to our day. Temperatures across the metro in the middle 30s. So we're above freezing, but the wind chills are actually below freezing. We'll check those out here in just a second. 33 in Bartlesville, 39 this morning in McAllister, 46 this morning in Wagner. There's a look again at the latest wind chills, mid to upper 20s. So make sure those kids are bundled up at the bus stop this morning. We had a cold front move through last night. That's why we are so much colder out through this morning. Most of the clouds, northwest Arkansas, southeast Oklahoma. So as we look at temperatures this morning, 8 o'clock, still middle 30s with wind chills in the 20s. By lunchtime in the upper 40s. It will not be as warm today as it was yesterday. Temperatures this afternoon, upper 40s to near 50. Wind should gradually die down a little bit later on today. Heading into tonight, boy, a chilly night for us. Overnight lows drop off in the middle to upper 20s. So we're going to be the deep freeze tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, another cool day, and then more clouds move in during the late afternoon hours. And there's going to be even a slight chance for a few flurries near Miami or Grand Lake tomorrow night. Heading in early Friday. That's it. Not talking about a winter storm by any stretch. What about wintry weather for Christmas? Well, here's a look at the forecast for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. That's not bad for this time of year. 60s. Wow, that is just looking awesome for us. If you have to maybe wrap up or start some Christmas shopping this weekend. Also looking nice, warmer for a Saturday, 58, 63 Sunday. Sunday night and a Monday morning, slight chance for a shower. And again, next week, just unseasonably warm weather with temperatures into the 60s for us.
Wow. Well, because of that system that's cooling us down, they're getting whiteout conditions in Colorado. Powerful storm, 24 inches in the Colorado mountains and parts of Utah. Snow forced airlines to cancel 425 flights. Clint said nobody was getting to Denver from Tulsa yesterday. Hundreds of miles of slippery highways covered with snow and ice. This was the first big storm of the season for most of Colorado and Utah. Well, former Subway pitchman Jared Fogle is now in the Oklahoma City Federal Transfer Center. Fogle was recently sentenced to 15 years in prison after pleading guilty to charges of distributing child pornography and traveling to engage in sexual conduct with a minor. Yesterday, he filed for an appeal in that case, and he's due back in court January 25th. No word on how long he will be held in Oklahoma City.
Well, updates this morning to gun laws in Kansas. The State Board of Regents will discuss the latest draft of a concealed weapons plan starting this morning. The new draft includes carrying concealed weapons on Kansas college campuses by mid-2017. Now, last week, we reported that the ongoing experiment with gun laws, previous plans included concealed carry for anyone over the age of 21 without any training or permits, barring mental illness and criminal records. U.S. government is currently set to run out of money by midnight, but congressional leaders have now reached an agreement to avoid a shutdown. House Speaker Paul Ryan says terms of the massive $1.1 trillion agreement were settled yesterday. Lawmakers also struck a deal on a broad package of tax breaks worth billions of dollars. Both agreements are going to put to vote later this week. They'll deal with keeping the government funded and keep them from running out of money until September of next year.
This morning, Wall Street will be watching closely as the Fed is expected to raise short-term interest rates. The hike will be the first in nearly a decade and could impact the markets on this third day of trading. A rate hike will be a sign that the Fed thinks the economy is stronger and no longer needs the support of the central bank. Financial analysts predict the rates hike will likely top out at 0.5%. Oklahoma lawmakers are trying to figure out how to deal with a $900 million budget shortfall.
State officials say dwindling revenue collections are going to force mid-year cuts to current appropriations. Most of that decline due to falling oil and gas prices and tax incentives for the industry. The budget cuts expected to start next month, but the nonpartisan Oklahoma Policy Institute says many services are already struggling as it is.
Well, we've already seen that we've imposed some of the largest cuts in the nation to public education, and our correctional facilities are critically understaffed, and healthcare providers have been cut. So we're already in a situation where we have been falling short of meeting our needs.
City of Tulsa bracing for cuts. They announced a hiring freeze, but the city still has seen some revenue increase with some new businesses downtown.
The sales tax that's been generated by all the new activities and things that we've had going, downtown is booming, and they're making a lot of money.
State Superintendent Joy Hoffmeister says the revenue failure will have a painful impact on our schools. In a statement, she says, quote, "We owe it to our educators and children who depend on them to move forward responsibly and with the importance of every single student's education in mind."
We showed you this surveillance video yesterday. A man crashing his truck into a hotel lobby in Alva. He's now facing charges. Police say 62-year-old John Parsley was angry that the hotel wouldn't give him a refund on 2 transactions. He's facing charges of 2 felony accounts of assault and battery with a dangerous weapon and malicious injury to property. And updating a few more stories that we've been following for you this week. Oklahoma Highway Patrol troopers say a man that was the subject of a silver alert has died. 75-year-old Eldon Blackwell was reported missing in Pryor. We reported Monday. His body was found in a vehicle in a creek south of there yesterday. Investigators say Blackwell was on several medications, which sometimes caused him to have episodes of dementia. And changes are coming to the Muskogee County Jail after 2 inmates broke out this weekend. Raymond Noriega was caught soon after that escape on Sunday night, but Paul Newberry was on the run for more than a day before being caught in Texas. Investigators say the accused killer stole an 18-wheeler from a hotel in Muskogee Monday night, but GPS inside that truck led authorities to Newberry. He was arrested without incident just outside of Austin Tuesday. And Muskogee County Sheriff Charles Pearson says a detention officer failed to make a proper cell check, which helped lead to Newberry's escape. He says new improvements include 2-person cell checks and more surveillance cameras. And police now believe it was road rage that led to the shooting of a man overnight.
Yeah, this morning 2 people in custody after a 2-hour standoff. Channel 8's Yadami Farina is joining us now live with all the details. Yadami?
Officers say one of the men who is in custody right now is the suspected trigger man in last night's shooting. The other person is the suspect's younger brother. Now, the 2 were taken into custody after a 4-hour standoff with police, and it happened here on East Woodrow Place, right over there in that house we're zooming into right now. That's where officers say this suspect lives. They tell us after a man was shot in the head with a shotgun on Birmingham Place, which was about a mile and a half from from here. The suspect fled the scene and then barricaded himself inside the house. After 4 hours of trying to convince him to surrender, he finally came out peacefully. Now, officers tell us the victim is on life support right now, and unfortunately, they don't expect that victim to survive. It's a man in his 40s is what we're told. We're also told that a 27-year-old suspect lived here with his younger brother. We are told that he was in the Birmingham Place neighborhood and he was driving, and someone told him to slow down, and they think that is probably the result of the shooting. They're not 100% sure, but they're saying that's probably what it looks like at this point. Now, we'll continue to update and monitor the story throughout the day and bring you updates in our evening newscast and online on KTOL.com. Live in North Tulsa, Yaremi Farinas, Tulsa's Channel 8.
Thank you, Yaremi.
Coach, this morning, cold out there, blustery too this morning, temperatures in the 30s, the wind chills in the 20s, should see highs this afternoon near 50.
All right, another update at 7:25. Have a good Wednesday, right, Keith?
It's Wednesday, of course.